What if someone was to tell you that one woman has changed the way we look at our health, disrupted the entire medical industry, and is single-handedly transforming the future of personalized medicine? If you do not know the name Anne Wojcicki, then let me introduce her to you. She is the co-founder of a direct-to-consumer genetic testing company named 23andMe that has revolutionized our understanding of genetics, health, and ancestry. Today, she is not only the CEO of a multi-millionaire company, but also one of the key players in the field of biotechnology. Anne Wojcicki didn't start her career in genetics, but her journey through healthcare investment opened her eyes to the untapped potential of genetic data. As an investment analyst who worked in San Francisco, the role of Anne was to identify promising sectors lying at the juncture of science and commerce. What she saw was a system failing due to a lack of access to genetic data, which was information that belonged to the select few scientists and researchers hidden away in academic enclaves. This discovery awakened Anne in a big way. She also wanted people to get information about their genes, not only institutions. She asked herself, why can't ordinary citizens govern data about their own DNA? That question would eventually lead to the foundation of 23andMe in 2006. The idea was simple, yet revolutionary. It offered people the possibility of decoding their genes, knowing their origin and possible predispositions to certain diseases with a single test. It was not simple curiosity. Anne's vision was to extend choice to people and take healthcare decision-making back into their own hands with their genetic predispositions. Initially, when 23andMe commenced its business, it provided its consumers with a genetic test to be conducted at the price of $999, which was incredibly cheap during that time due to the technicality of the testing procedure. However, Anne's goal was not limited to making genetic information more accessible to the common people, but securing the field of genetics in general. It was the kind of structure that she wanted for all people. The first product that the company offered customers was the Personal Genome Service, where customers get a breakdown of who they are and a glimpse into their health future through their DNA markers. And, as I've already mentioned, it was not merely a medical tool. It was an invitation to discover who and what you were and where you hailed from. Due to this mix of health information and ancestral curiosity, 23andMe quickly gained popularity with all the people who wanted to get to know themselves from a genetic perspective. In 2012, 23andMe had secured more than $50 million in funding. Then in 2018, they had an estimated value of about $1.75 billion. Investors saw what Anne already knew. This was not only a genotyping service provider, this was a revolution in the field of customized medicine. Having millions of customers' genetic data, 23andMe turned into a goldmine for scientific research. At the end of the year 2019, the company was making good profits, and all of this was due to the efforts of Anne. This is where Anne distinguishes herself from other founders of tech companies. She is always able to see the bigger picture. It wasn't simply another product for her, but rather the sign of something larger on the horizon. She was producing something that is known today as consumer genomics, a segment that puts the genetic information of a person into the hands of the owner. The potential was limitless. They could use genetic data to learn the likelihood of developing diseases such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's and alter their lifestyles to either prevent these diseases or put themselves in the best possible position should they be developed. It was not only a warning of the future, but Anne was offering them the means to build their own future, such that it sprang up over the ability to access the records in the database. Initially, 23andMe experienced regulatory issues such as challenges from the FDA because the latter was concerned with letting consumers get medical information without a doctor's prescription. Anne, however, remained undeterred. She was convinced that the major priority was to liberate people, and she defended the principle of the right to inform consumers on their health. In 2017, her perseverance paid off, and 23andMe became the first direct-to-consumer company that was allowed by the FDA to post health reports to customers without the approval of a medical doctor. This was a massive win for Anne and her company. It also brought about a new way in which healthcare could be provided in the future. Although it may be 23andMe that propelled Anne Wojcicki to stardom, it is by no means her only success story. As always, she has gone ahead to take innovations further through venture capital. Anne's goals towards sustainable investments and her passion for firms that embrace innovation, as well as those with values that she holds dear, strongly intertwine with each other. It's also worth mentioning her entrepreneurship is investing as part of her efforts to influence the future beyond the setting of healthcare. Across her investments, Anne is increasingly shaping sectors that will reshape how we live, consume, and manage our health, all the while raking in handsome returns. We also must mention that in the personal life of Anne Wojcicki, her business is not only oriented towards the sphere of healthcare. Born and raised in a family of an educator and a physicist, Anne, a Stanford University graduate, showed from a young age a curious and rational approach, as well as a purpose in life. Another lady in her life is her sister, Susan Wojcicki, who is the former CEO of YouTube. She, on her part, is all power and might, unlike Anne, who has always been about what's practical, making lives good, or even better in a real sense. However, Anne has always been focused on the goal of the company, instead of becoming a star. Often she underlines the fact that 23andMe is not a company, but an instrument that helps people. That focus for her has always been the value proposition of the consumer, not just the top and bottom line. This ideology has made her a very rare breed in Silicon Valley today. Being a tech entrepreneur who isn't only involved with a company that is focused on creating new technologies, but also a person who is actually passionate about the notion of using technology to make people's lives better. As 23andMe moves forward, so does Anne Wojcicki's impact on the healthcare sector. Currently, data within the company's genetic database, which is considered to be one of the biggest in the world, is used in clinical trials and for developing medications. Technology firms are using data gained from 23andMe in order to search for further treatments for diseases such as cancer and diabetes. Perfectly tailored care to a specific patient is still a long way from being a reality, but Anne has a point. She has put down a foundation for the future of medicine, where the treatments that are given to the patient will be unique to the patient's genome, rather than giving a general treatment. And, especially in the coming future, it would be easier to visualize the kind of role Anne Wojcicki has played in the making of this industry so far. So, from giving people a new perspective on genes to covertly shaping fields beyond medicine, Anne Wojcicki is one of the most powerful women globally. A woman who secretly runs the biomedical world, but many don't know it. Her story perfectly encapsulates vision, practice, and consistent dedication to helping people through science and technology. So what do you think? Have you heard of Anne Wojcicki before? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.